Hey everybody, how are you doing? It's Sean from Ridesharing101.com. And please, if you like the videos, if you like the vlog, please subscribe, please hit the notification bell, leave a comment, join the Facebook group, all one word, Ridesharing101. And it's early in the morning. I've been up for 3 hours. I've got my coffee. I still have bedhead for some reason. There's weird lighting happening here in the car, so I'll try to keep this one short. But there was a recent story about 5 or 6 days ago about a woman that discovered that Uber may be testing a feature where passengers can record their drivers on audio. They can make an audio recording through the app and use it for whatever reason they feel to contact Uber. So usually it's basically, this is another way that passengers can record and report their drivers. And I think this is fine in the sense of, obviously it's great for like a sexual assault or something inappropriate, grossly inappropriate, obviously, in that instance. But for other minor infractions, I think it's pretty petty. But let's back up. I encourage all drivers to have a dash cam, a 2-camera dash cam, one that records through the window outside and also inside. And the dash cam records audio and video. I'm in the state of California, so if you're going to record somebody on video, you need to post that. You need to post that they're being recorded on video. You can get little stickers through Amazon, eBay, a bunch of other sites. Mount on the window. They're small. They're not very, obnoxious. And put them on all the windows except for the driver's side, because obviously you're the only one driving your passenger. Your passenger isn't going to get in on the driver's side. So, or at least in the front here. So do that. Then you can record your passengers on video. You have a record in case down the road, they make a claim that's, not warranted. Now, the other thing I will say is, federally, it is legal to record somebody on audio as long as you are a party to that conversation. So if I put record on my phone and somebody gets in, I can record their audio without saying anything to them. I don't have to, as long as I'm one of the parties. I can't, let's say if I accidentally am recording something and I leave my phone in a car and I retrieve it a couple hours later and there's a bunch of conversations, I can't use that because I wasn't physically present during that conversation. But if I'm one of the parties involved, I can record it and I don't have to tell the people that that's what I'm doing. And I believe that pertains to phone calls and in person. So you can double check that, Google search it, but I'm pretty sure that's a federal law, so that trumps state law. So there you have it. Now, you always want to be careful with your interactions and passengers. Sometimes people get very, very offended. And a lot of times, I'll have conversations with somebody and I'll double check. I'll is that okay? Are you okay with that? Sometimes if I'm at an intersection downtown San Francisco and it just turns yellow, I say, hey, it's clear, I'm going to run this yellow light. And I go through the yellow light. I don't necessarily speed up before it turns red. And if they don't say anything, I say, hey, are you okay with that? And most of the time they're like, oh yeah, please, thank you, I appreciate that. The only time I haven't had anybody be okay with it is somebody, normally when I would do this, people would be like, oh, thanks, they give me a response. But one time I had somebody that didn't say anything. I was like, oh, are you okay with that? And they're like, oh yeah, I was just a little surprised. And I'd be like, oh, okay, well, do you feel comfortable? I'm a safe driver, but I want you to feel safe. So if you don't, if you object, I'll stop, and the ride will take a little more time, but that's okay. I want you to feel comfortable. And they're like, oh no, that's all right. I was just, I was a little surprised. And you're like, okay. And And that was fine. I got a fine rating. They didn't report me. Everything was okay. But you want to be careful with passengers, because some passengers get offended over things that you would just take for granted. And there are a lot of passengers that try to scam Uber, or they're very vindictive. I have had a lot of passengers upset because I would not allow them to come into my car with their child with no child seat. You know, and they're basically, these people like, well, you have to, you better, I'll report you. Well, that's fine, sir, ma'am. You know, the law is that you need a child seat. I can get a ticket, you can get a ticket, and besides, I would think that you'd care about the safety of your child. Oh, don't tell me what kind of parent I should be. I love my child. You can't tell me. You know, shut up. You know. So, you know, you'll get vindictive passengers that will report you anyway for stuff like that. So if you have a dash cam, you're covered. But in another case, think about this. There's some people, they just want a free ride, and they've kind of learned that if they complain hard enough, or if they get the right person at Uber, they can get a free ride, they can get a free credit. So let's say you're me. You're a 53-year-old, slightly overweight, slightly balding. I won't show you my bald patch. 53-year-old white man. Very attractive young woman gets in my car. I'm like, how are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing very well. Wow, you're kind of cute, Mr. Uber driver. Oh, thank you. I think you're kind of cute. Okay, well, maybe right after, oh, you're kind of cute, Mr. Uber driver, she hits record on her phone. And she doesn't record the part where she says, hey, you're Mr. Cute, Uber driver. She just records the part where I say, hi, you're very cute, young lady. And then she goes, my Uber driver said I was kind of cute. I felt uncomfortable. This is an older man, and I'm a 21-year-old, virginal Catholic schoolgirl, whatever. And some of you might be laughing like, yeah, Sean, right. But, stuff like this does happen. And there are a lot of, how shall I say, not exactly, well, let me backtrack. You never know who's going to get into your car. So you don't know what their agenda is, what their mental state is. You don't really know anything about them, except for you have a name, which might not even be a real name, and you know what they look like. And that's about it. So please be careful. I know this might seem silly. Some of you might be like, I have nothing to hide. Well, that's good. But get a dash cam and record it, because what somebody reports or what they record, whether it be all of a conversation or part of a conversation or little snippets, you want to make sure that that's not used against you. So have a dash cam, be careful, and understand your passengers might have an agenda that isn't in your best interest. All right, on that note, drive safe, be good, and I'll see you next vlog.